got our goats checked in and the camera's not focusing. We're ready for the show. It starts tomorrow, so we've got some time.
All set up, organized, the cages are perfect.
I'm only worried that it's a little bit chilly because it's like 75 in here, and I know that doesn't seem cold, but that's kind of cold for our goats. So we have covers for the two mamas here, two seniors, the older does, but kind of wondering if we should go get a little sweater to put on them.
Yeah.
A little worried that they're gonna get out of here, but oh well, if they do. Okay. I'm a makeup influencer, you guys. Did you not know? So we're gonna go to the show this morning, and last night we dropped them off. We got them all situated. I'm worried about them, like I wanna go check on them, but we gotta get ready first. So the show starts at noon, but we're gonna get there a little bit early, and I've convinced Lydia to ditch school. I'm so excited. This is the type of kids we have. We have to like beg them to ditch school so they can come hang out with us. So she's gonna ditch a couple classes and come help show some of the juniors because I have 3 that I'm showing in the same class. Yeah, I basically need an extra hand, otherwise I don't know what we're gonna do. So today's just juniors, so we're just showing Reba, Dolly, Prim, and then we're showing Raven as well. Hopefully they do good. Hopefully that training stuck. And today is also the competition for the cheese. I entered in my Gouda and my Cajeta. I'm a little worried at how cold they got last night because I almost got covers for the juniors, and then I was like, no, they'll be okay, they have each other. Now I'm thinking I should have got something. Just for reference, the high is 80 but it got to like 47 last night. A little nervous about how they did, but the whole reason that I'm actually filming doing this so I can show you guys how I do my mascara, because I get a lot of questions about that. First, you have to heat up your lash curlers with a blow dryer, and if it's too hot you can just, you know, touch it a little bit. And then I have to use the Lash Paradise. I feel like that's the best one. Don't I look great? There's my beauty influencer segment. Now let's get ready for the show. Excited. I'm a little bit nervous. If you have anxiety, the best thing that you can do is just go put yourself front and center at a goat show with a goat that may act completely crazy. You don't know. It's really good practice for not being worried about stuff that you can't control. Okay, Lydia, are you ready to show goats?
So ready.
Okay guys, this is what we train for. We're ready. So first up are the 3 little girls. We've got Lydia with Reba, Kevin with Dolly, and me with Prim. We did it this way because Reba's the easiest, Dolly's okay, and Prim is the absolute worst from hell. So that's what we're gonna go with. I don't know, Prim did really well at home, but she wasn't feeling it at the show, which, you know, whatever. Some goats get a little bit more nervous, or she could have been in heat. I don't know, she was just really trying to bite every goat and it was driving me nuts. But anyway, here we go. So in the beginning, it's just walking them in, and everybody's trying to set up their goat to look the prettiest. Mostly we're trying to get our goats to be in their natural stance, but many of them are hunched over, looking around, trying to fuss with the other goats in front of them. It's a whole thing. The judge walks up and down and takes a good look at everybody, and then she goes down and she feels each one of them. She feels their ribs, and then she looks to make sure they just have 2 teats, which all of ours do, so we're good. We passed that test. Next, she'll ask us to walk around in a circle, and we try to do that as slowly as possible. Reba's doing awesome, Dolly's doing okay, Prim's a nightmare, but that's okay. And we just try our best, and she has us go around a couple times. She wants to see them on the move, because seeing how a goat walks is seeing them in their most natural state, hopefully. Sometimes they fight you a little bit, but it's really important for the judge to be able to see them walking, see them on the move. She had us turn to the side and look at their rump, look at their front end, and then she starts to place and deciding on her final placement here, which is she brought up a goat from the end and stuck Prim and Dolly further down. So Lydia got 5th, Kevin and I got 7th and 8th. if you can believe it. Now, the best part is this end part, when the judge sits and explains why she places them like she did. In a young goat, what they're looking for is their dairy strength. They want to see how they're developing and if they're developing into a goat that is going to become a good dairy goat. So they're looking for long, lean necks. They're looking for them to be very sharp in their withers, a little bit uphill when they walk around the ring. They want to see them nice and level in their top line and in their rumps. And they definitely don't want to see them thicker in their thighs or in their shoulders, which is what Prim and Dolly have right now. It could be from them having some baby weight, or it could be from just how their bodies are. But anyway, that's the reason why they were placed lower. So here's what the judge had to say about Reba.
And then my fifth, this little red doe in 5 over the doe behind her. I always talk about it, but general appearance on the move. That was why I kept her up here. I like to straighten her front legs a little bit, but she really comes together when she travels. She has that nice uphill motion. She's very correct in the back as she travels and as she comes to rest. So for that levelness in the chine area, for that uphill motion as she travels, she places over the doe behind her.
Here's what the judge had to say about Prim.
Little Chamazé doe over the red doe. I feel like I really like the body capacity. That was something that caught my eye about this doe. Not just that she's big, but that she's deep in the heart. She has that nice depth of heart. She has that nice width. I really like that extension of the brisket. And so while they're both very deep, powerful does, I really like especially the strength in the front of that body capacity there. And then this little red doe, there's really not, it's just a really quality class all the way down. I think that she has, if anything, I'd make her just a little more uphill today, but she really does have a nice spring of rib. She has a nice little angle to the rear leg, still a really quality doe, and I'd like to compliment her. Thank you.
So next up was Raven, and there were just 2 in the class. So it was just Raven and one other little doeling. And after the judge walked them around and looked at them, Raven got first place. So that was pretty cool. So here's what the judge had to say about Raven.
The first doe excels in her body capacity and her general appearance, and the second doe excels in her dairiness. That's really kind of how this class unfolds. But I'm going with I think that when you combine the general appearance and the body capacity, and there's nothing wrong with her dairy character. She's perfectly adequate. She just doesn't quite excel like this one does. I like the strength of the front leg. I think she's just a little bit straighter. I think her toes are a little bit tighter. She has more width between the hocks. She stands wider in her hind legs. And then in the body capacity, I like the extension of brisket on both of these does, but I really like that depth of heart, that depth of forerib, and that spring of barrel, or spring of rib and barrel that I see on the first place doe.
And then in the end, we had a champion lineup. So since Raven got first place in her age group, then she got to go in the champion lineup. And the judge ended up choosing for grand champion the little doe that was just a little bit younger than Raven. And then for reserve grand champion, she ended up choosing the littlest doe on the end. But then she took me aside and said that she was almost going to choose Raven, but decided to go with that little doe because she was just so correct. So Raven lost out to a little one, but that's okay. I really love, ultimately, the feedback that I get from these judges. She didn't get grand champion.
Too bad.
And then we thought she might get reserve, and then she didn't get reserve. But then the judge pulled me aside and said she almost gave her reserve, but she just ended up switching it to this little doeling. But that's okay. That's kind of what happens when you go to shows. You just never know what the judge is going to do.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But
and
we'll see next because there's another day of seniors.
So day 2 is all about the seniors. There weren't very many there because it's late in the year and a lot of senior does are out of milk. And so a lot of people don't want to bring them and show them. But Daphne was looking good. She was looking the best in the bunch that I have, so I decided to bring her. And after the judge looked at them, she ended up placing Daphne right in the middle. But here's what she had to say about her.
In second, this doe, I like her body capacity. I really admire her width throughout. I like that spring of rib. I think she has an advantage in that, as well as the length of body over the doe behind her. And she, in her turn, has the advantage in the mammary system. In the balance, symmetry, and quality of the mammary system, I think that she has a more desirable texture to the mammary system. It's just a softer, sort of more pliable texture to the mammary system. And that, of course, translates into she does have all this capacity, but because she has this very soft udder, I can tell that there's probably a lot of milk coming out of that udder as well. So I admire that about that doe.
In the end, Daphne was just not quite as mature as the doe in front of her. She hasn't quite developed that depth in her chest and that width in her rump. So it's all good. It's just differences in genetics. But Daphne did so amazing, and honestly, I'm so proud of her for being so easy to lead around, so easy to set up. It's just like so rewarding that all of that training actually made it for such an easier time. Next up was Hazel, and now Hazel's dry, so she didn't have milk, so that kind of immediately put her in second place behind the first place doe, who is still in milk. So the first place doe also has a little bit more maturity, depth of body. Obviously, she's more like open in the chest and a little bit wider in the rump. So it's very deserving that she got first place, but you know, that's okay. Hazel also did really great in the ring, so that's as much as I can hope for. All right, we're at the end of the show here, and we ended up getting sweaters for the goats. We put them on, all the 4 little babies, but we're in a hurry to leave, so I didn't really get a shot of them with the mom. They were super cute. I know, she's ready to go home, guys.
We did it!
We did it! And somebody stole my cajeta, guys. I mean, I saw earlier that I got first place. Now you guys aren't gonna even believe me.
Blue ribbon.
I got
cajeta.
the big blue ribbon for both my cheese and the cajeta.
Grand champion.
Grand champion for both. It's the one thing we got grand champion in. And so at least I have one of my nice ribbons, because somebody stole the ribbon and the cajeta from the display box.
Good night.
Because what they do is, like, once they judge it, then they display it and they're like, oh, look what everybody won. And I saw it earlier today, and then when I went back, it was gone. I'm kind of bummed because that was a really good batch and I wanted to eat it.
Yes.
But the judges said that my cheese was the best hard goat cheese that they'd ever tasted. So
good Gouda.
yeah, so definitely got grand champion win for that one. All right, it's quarantine time after the show. Everybody's going to be quarantined here for a few days just to make sure nobody starts coughing or getting sick. So
Prim is going to quarantine in the cave.
yeah, Prim's obsessed with those. Those are fun. We should bring those to the show.
Yeah.
You ladies did so good too. All right, we're back and we're done with the show. Thanks so much for watching today. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I think it's really fun, and I'm gonna write down all the things the judges said so that I can be aware of, you know, the strengths and the weaknesses of each of my goats, and we're gonna move forward with regular life. So we've got some breedings coming up. We gotta breed the 4 little big girls. And then we gotta do a bunch of work this winter to make sure that everything's ready for kidding season. So if you wanna watch some of our past show experiences, you can click right here.